Living the life around the world! It's time for Inner Mouse, your Disney lifestyle destination, with Scott, JL, John, and Nicole. Oh boy! Ha!
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Inner Mouse, the vidcast for people who are striving to lead a Disney-driven lifestyle. I'm JL from the DisneyDrivenLife.com. With me this evening are John, columnist for the Disney food blog, Scott from CollectTheMouse.com, and Nicole, neurotic Disney individual extraordinaire. We have a very exciting topic to bring to you this evening, one that I'm particularly thrilled about.
Me too.
Last week you all told us that you wanted us to talk about social media and how we bring the Disney brand into that aspect of our lives. So, what do you say we just go ahead and jump right in?
Let's jump.
This is a social media week.
It is. It's been an incredible week to talk about this subject. But first, let's kind of define what social media is.
Thank God.
Because John might need some clarity.
John wasn't even in social media until 4 months ago.
So just to kind of brush up and refresh for John's sake, I went to Wikipedia. And it says social media includes various online technologies that enable people to communicate easily via the internet to share info and resources. These types of technologies would include text, audio, video, images, podcasts, and multimedia communications. So with that, I thought we would go ahead and start off with, in what ways has Disney impacted social media in the life of neurotic Disney people? What's your take on it?
Well, there's this new vidcast called Inner Mouse, and I think that's a great social media tool.
Love it.
It's great. Have you watched it, anyone? Has anyone watched this Inner Mouse thing?
If not, you should.
But right, this is social media, is it not?
It absolutely is.
Okay, but it's not not Disney. Disney seems to be getting into social media with their last announcement.
Well, there are social media, two camps, kind of. There's official Disney social media, and then there's fan-driven social media.
And I bet the fan-driven is obviously a big driver for profits and everything, because we're crazy.
We are.
We love it.
We're
and
neurotic.
It's free advertisement for them.
It really is.
We really push it. But so, in what ways has Disney impacted how you do social media? You know, things like Twitter, Facebook, Skype, chat, podcasts, forums, all of that stuff that you do online. In what way has Disney impacted that?
It's all Disney for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I don't follow anybody that doesn't have anything about Disney in their profile.
So it is all for you.
Except for a few celebrities like Joan Rivers or something, it's all Disney.
Do you follow Joan Rivers?
I do. She has some great tweets. She does.
Okay. The only celebrity that I follow that isn't Disney related is Tom Cruise, and that's because he followed me back. So, hey. But what about you, Scott? How has Disney impacted it in your life?
Well, I can honestly say, first and foremost, it's you guys right off the bat. Not just the three of you, but all the people in the chat room tonight. I know most of you, or at least have chatted with you, or tweeted with you, or Facebooked with you. But I've made some dear, dear friends, and including my three co-hosts, who I love dearly. And that wouldn't have happened without social media. I met all of you through social media. And, I think the big thing for me was, like John said, there was a people out there with a love for Disney like I had, and that just made the connection. And it was easy through social media. And, one of the things I love is when I'm sitting at work and I'm having a hard day, I can just pop onto Twitter real quick. There's always someone tweeting from the parks, whether it be Disneyland or Disney World, and I get to share that. And I think it's so cool when somebody sends a picture and I'm like, oh man, I've been standing right there. Oh, they're having a Dole Whip, all this stuff. So it's really awesome. Go ahead, John.
So you kind of use it as a crutch to help you get your fix. You're longing to be there in the parks, and this kind of helps you cope with that withdrawal.
Daily. Some people use alcohol, some people use drugs. I use social media and Disney.
In addition to your alcohol.
No, it's water.
It's water tonight.
Yeah.
It's water. I swear.
And the judges on American Idol drink water also.
Well, of course they do.
That Coca-Cola.
Well, what about you, Nicole? How has Disney impacted the way that you use social media?
Well, when I started Twitter, I saw it on Extra, the show with Mario Lopez, and he was always saying, "Oh, I had an interview with this person. Follow them on Twitter." And I was like, "What? Celebrity gossip for free before it hits Us Weekly?" Yeah. So I was like on there with following Paris Hilton and whoever, all my favorite little celebrities. And then I just would go on it whenever. And then I auditioned for American Idol, and I found Chris Topher on the American Idol thing, and he had a Twitter too. So that was like my first friend that I started talking to on Twitter, and that was my first tweet up. And then from just one Disney Twitter friend, I found a jillion. All the friends that I have now have just like trickled off of that, and then now Twitter's not really about following.
And Nicole was a hard Twitter friend to make. Nicole didn't just follow you and be friendly.
Well, I would be careful because you don't know who people
you.
are. You have to be careful still, but I feel like a lot of people know each other, so now I'm a little different.
She's opening up a little
bit.
She's not such a Twitter snob anymore.
You have to be careful, because once you hit that follow-up button, they get the keys to your home.
Hey, Nicole, I just, I'm wondering, can you start following me now? I mean, I've been following you for months.
You should follow Scott now. It's about time.
Yeah, you're getting to that stage.
Would you mind?
I do follow him, right? Scott, I follow you.
He's totally joking.
I hope he may not be. No, he may not be, because she does that.
Actually, right now I'm not following anyone because Twitter is being silly goosey, and I have 0 followers, and I'm following 0 people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that new update they did. I have 0 followers as well.
By the way, really Anthony, cool. P.S. I tried to DM you today. It wouldn't let me do it because it said you weren't following me, so I got to go back and fix that.
Oh, can we boot him from the room?
I think it was an accident. I'm going to give him grace. But, okay, so for me, Disney was the entire reason that I embraced social media in the first place. I mean, I originally lived in this small town, little bumpkin of a place in Virginia. Bumpkin. Yeah, people didn't really do social media there. I mean, they just go out to their potluck barbecue things on the weekend, and that's it. So I was very, very desperate to get a Disney fix because I didn't really have any Disney friends there either, and the only way that I was going to have access to it was to get on the computer and do it. So it started with, at first I just, I had my email. That was all I knew how to do on the computer. This was 2 years ago. I just knew how to get my email, answer it, and send it.
Same.
Yeah.
That's it.
But from there, I went to forums. And in the forums, I started making connections and talking to people there. And from there, I started listening to podcasts. And that was awesome because... the forums were great for forming the relationships, which I desperately, desperately needed because I needed somebody to understand me and my Disney craziness. But then the podcast, gave the information, and that was rich. And then I did break out onto Facebook, and that didn't have too much to do with Disney at first. And I was really kind of private about my Facebook page, but then that slowly evolved as the people in the forums wanted to try to connect on Facebook, so I started letting more people in, and now I have...
You definitely use Twitter more than Facebook.
No, I actually use both kind of pretty evenly. Maybe Twitter slightly more.
Twitter just seems much more interactive, right? Like, you definitely
it's
correspond, instant corresponding.
It's more instant. But I'm on Facebook daily. Yes?
Do you find that... I obviously have some overlap on my Facebook and my Twitter, but there are some people that are strictly Facebook and some people that are strictly Twitter for me on my account. Do you have the same thing?
Yes, there are definitely some people that are strictly Facebook and they completely get freaked out by Twitter. I've tried to coach some Disney people into the Twitter area because, I'm trying to tell you there are a lot of more people, Disney people on Twitter, a lot more interaction, but they get on Twitter and they never push it. When you first get on Twitter, you have to push it till you get to a point. You're going to have your aha moment, but it doesn't happen right away.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
It happens months later when you're like, oh my gosh, I get it.
I get it. You're right. I didn't know what was going on.
No, I mean, at first, when I first got on Twitter, I was like, why does anybody want to know, when I'm picking my nose? It seemed kind of ridiculous. It was like Facebook status on steroids, and it seemed kind of silly. But, I kept at it, kept with it. And then, a couple months into it, I started making Disney connections. And I had somebody to talk to about Disney. And then what happened was one day, I think I was like a couple months into it, somebody retweeted something I said. And I was like, I got retweeted? I understand what this is about.
I'll have some of what she's having. Nolan in the chat room just said something that said Facebook is all games now. And I have to say, if it wasn't for Farmville, I wouldn't be on Facebook.
Really? See, I don't play any of those games. I got hooked on Fashion Wars, and it sucked me in so bad I thought I'll never do this again. As soon as I wean myself off of Fashion Wars, I avoid Farmville like the plague. But no, I actually use it to update my status, and there are friends on Facebook that will only be on Facebook. And Facebook is actually, for me, a little bit more personal. Like, if I'm having a crummy day, I feel a little bit more safe putting it on my Facebook status than I do just putting it out there to the Twitter world for over 2,000 people to see. So I go to Facebook where there's only 1,500.
200.
But, So podcast, then I went to Facebook, then I started my blog, then I ventured out into Twitter, then I got a YouTube channel, and now we're doing live video streaming. But it was all because of Disney. If it hadn't been for Disney, I would have just kept going to my potluck barbecues in Virginia.
I don't want to sound totally ignorant to the world, but I didn't realize that there were a lot of people like me with Disney. I thought I was kind of a special case. And then I went on Twitter and realized there's people like me, and they even got it worse, some of them.
Yeah. Isn't that an eye-opening experience where you start to meet other people? Here I am, I call myself neurotic Disney mom number 1. But I have come to terms with the reality that it's not because I'm the most neurotic. That number 1 just means I was the first to be counted, because there are definitely people there who are way more neurotic about it than I am.
I think that was a big excitement for me. Was I love going to the parks and going to school here at UCF. It's close, and I got discount tickets from there, so I would go often, but you can only drag Mom so many times until... I mean, she enjoys going, but I want to go even more than that, and... when I saw that, these people are, I was like, what, they're at the park right now? I was like, that's across town. Oh my gosh. What if I'm friends with that? Like, I got so excited that there were other people going. So I think living in town had a big thing to do with it for me.
Did you think, I went, after I hung out with a lot of these Twitter people, you, Nicole, and everything, I went back and thought how many times I was in the park maybe by myself or with somebody that really didn't enjoy Disney, and that you guys might have been there too and just passing me by. And I could have reached out, but I didn't.
I was going to ask you, did you ever do this? The first vacation that I took after I started my blog and was on Twitter and everything, the first vacation I took after that, we're driving up to check in and everything. I see people walking down the sidewalks and stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute. Do I know that person? They look strangely familiar, like I know their avatar.
Yes.
I think I know them. So, yeah. You started. I did. Did you ever do that, or was it just me?
No, I've done that.
Like, do I know them? Are they in that avatar? I can't just.
When it's a big group of people, like this weekend will be, that's when I'm like, okay, do I know?
Well, look at what social media did for this weekend. Do you see what's going? Scott, do you see this epic October? What it's becoming?
It's crazy. It's huge.
This could not happen if it wasn't for social media.
No.
I totally agree.
I think a lot of people are coming strictly for that reason.
Oh, yeah. Disney Dean, we know. Disney Dean was the first friend I met on Twitter. I think he's like the welcoming committee for Disney.
He's the welcome committee. Charles told me about him.
Yeah, love the guy. Well, you know what, guys? When I started my website, thecollecthemouse.com, I was blown away. It was kind of my aha moment because I thought, I love seeing Disney collectibles. I wonder if other people do. And I got slammed almost right away with people just sending me stuff. And I mean, not just somebody sending me 3 pictures. Somebody sending me like 43 pictures of things.
Wow.
And it blew me away. And I've got a backlog right now. And I apologize to anyone who's on the chat room or listening. If I haven't gotten to your stuff, I will get it up. I promise. I'm just a little backlogged. So.
But I think that's really a testament to the power of social media. And we've talked a little bit about how Disney has impacted the social media in our lives, but let's also talk about how we have impacted Disney because of social media. I mean, we've touched here on the unity of the Disney community. And I think you were kind of wanting to talk about that a little bit, you know, how we are able to find people based on.
Yeah. I mean, usually when you go to school, you grow up and you make friends, because I would play in the neighborhood with the neighborhood kids, because those are the choices that I had for friends.
Right.
You had
They're
little
the ones
Billy
that are
next
there.
door or Jenny across the street. I mean, Jenny. But now you don't have to pick friends based on perimeter. I mean, I get to see all of my Disney Twitter friends every day, but, you know, there are so many more options that allow us to do that. With Twitter, we're in constant contact, and, you know, Skype and Tiny Chat and all these fun things that we do. And it allows us to pick our friends based on our common interests, as opposed to, you know, the people that are in our close perimeter. And I think that is just, I mean,
Yeah.
I do, of course, Disney hat on, Disney flags all the time. But I also do, I have a lot of running blog friends that, you know, some of them overlap in our Disney people too, but that it got me into running, and I really enjoyed communicating that way. And then, you know, once I got into the Disney scene, it was all over from there. But yeah, I've enjoyed just making friends that have so much in common, as opposed to like, oh, you live down the block, you're cool, let's hang out. But
Yeah, I completely agree. I think social media has been huge for uniting the Disney community.
We probably have given their advanced dining reservation system a run for their money.
I think so. But yeah, like Nicole was saying, you can pick people, you know, based on common interests, and not even just Disney, but even like the niches within Disney. Like you were talking, you have your Disney runner friends. You know, then there's like the Disney food people and the Disney, you know,
scrapbookers.
The Haunted Mansion
Scrapbookers.
Disney people, there's a few of us.
Yeah.
The Hatbox Fiend guy.
Yeah, right. So, and there's that another one, Hatbox Ghost, isn't he?
Is it?
I think so. And his avatar is the Hatbox Ghost. So it's really cool because it's not based on location, like you're saying. And you know what I've learned? It's not even based on... We skip a lot of the barriers that we seem to have
Absolutely.
in real life. So, you know, I'm friends with people that are like my mom's age. And I'm friends with people who are, you know, neurotic
I notice
Disney
age
teens.
has no boundary with the Disney community for the
No.
most part.
No, you just kind of like skip over that. But I think a lot of it's because of social media.
And
So-
on camera, you would never know that Scott was 73. It doesn't
It would
it doesn't
never occur.
translate at
Yeah.
all.
I think that's one of the most beautiful things is, yeah, you don't have to pick because of where you live, but so many things. I mean, let's be honest, sometimes you look at people and judge them by how they look. I mean, we all try not to do that, but there is none, I mean, maybe your avatar, but there really is just, you're not looking at that person and saying, wow, I think I'd like to be friends with them based on their appearance or anything else, or, oh, they're the same age as I am.
Right.
It's just those common interest things that
Or
you
they
like
have
together.
money
and-
versus no money,
Exactly.
or, you know, race or gender or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some tweeters I honestly, I mean, a lot of times you can tell if they're male or female by the way they tweet, but sometimes you can't.
True.
So you don't even know.
You have no clue.
You don't even know what sex you're tweeting with.
Especially if they have like a name that could go either way. That's fun. Yeah.
Well, can I throw in a funny story?
Please do.
Yeah. Well, I have my avatar just as cheese from my my website for the longest time. I was catching a lot of flack for that. People saying, "Hey, what's your picture? Why don't you put a picture up?" And I was catching a lot of flack. And they finally put up a picture, and I was afraid I was going to lose like half of my people. It's like, wow, okay, there goes half my followers. And what was funny was everybody that I met then down in August, it was almost every single person said, "You look taller on your avatar." I thought that was hilarious.
Because you can tell from the chest up how tall you are, right?
Yep. 7'2".
Oh, okay, this is just really random, throwing it in there. There is a guy, I got a picture of him, that works at Pirates of the Caribbean. He's a pirate. He actually is 7'3".
Really?
I'm not joking. I am not
It's a
joking.
little scary.
I've got a picture.
Wow.
Okay, just had to throw that in there. All right, now here's a question for you guys. Do you prefer official Disney social media outlets, or do you prefer the fan-driven social media outlets?
I thoroughly enjoy on Facebook. I follow some official Disney thing that, and it always links me to the Disney official blog. And I enjoy what they put out because it'll be, we can speculate all we want and we can run around and say, they're making this, they're building that. The fans know somewhat, but we don't, but when it comes from the official Disney blog or something officially Disney, I really get excited because that it's true or that, that it's coming from a place where they really know what they're talking about.
Right. That's probably at Disney Parks on Twitter, I'm thinking.
Well, I see it on Facebook. And I click it, and it's a blog. And it comes from, it could be Disneyland or Disney World, and it's different people that, work there and stuff.
Okay. Kind of cool.
I like that.
So you prefer the official Disney social media outlets?
For new things, but then if I'm looking up something, I Google, and I'm going to name drop here because I just love this site. I always, if I would ever Google a Disney question, it would always, all ears is always the thing that comes up. I think it's allears.net. Mm-hmm. And they have the answer to everything. I'm like, these people are, omniscient. They know everything Disney. I could be what color is Piglet's ear? Something silly that made no sense,
that would
but...
be pink. It's pink, in case anybody's wondering. Just save you some Google time. His Piglet's ears are pink.
That's an awful example. They know everything. I like that site a lot. So,
do you consider your blog a fan blog?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is fan-driven because it's not officially Disney.
Then I think I rather the fan-driven stuff because you guys seem to know what's going on. And
all right, so why do you prefer that as opposed to the official Disney?
I don't know if I prefer it as opposed to. I think there's a lot more fan blogs than official, so that's what I see more of. But I also get real opinion. I mean, we pretty much will tell it like it is. If we don't like something like this last announcement, it took off as a negative thing in the eyes of the people.
Right. Don't jump ahead. We'll
No,
get
okay.
there. But
so I like the honesty, I think, in it.
You like the unbiased,
Yeah, and some of the fans, I know who's unbiased and who's not. Some of them, everything is roses, no matter what Disney does.
Yeah.
And I like the ones that, I love this, but wow, they could have done better on this. And I think when you keep it real, it's better.
Yeah.
John likes keeping it real.
Keep it real.
What about you, Scott? Do you prefer Disney official or fan-driven Disney social media outlets?
I think I like both. I really do follow both. There's so many sites that I follow, but they're very different. Like John was saying, they're all very different. Some people are so pro-Disney to the point of, okay, come on, they do they're not perfect, come on. That kind of thing. But, I like watching Disney's as well because they'll give you some behind-the-scenes stuff. The Disney blog is wonderful for that kind of stuff. So I really like both, and it kind of depends on my mood, which I feel like watching.
I like both, too, for different reasons. I prefer the official Disney stuff when it comes to information seeking. But when it comes to community purposes, which I'm very passionate about building relationships with people, uniting the Disney community and that type of thing, I find that the fan-driven social media outlets are much, much better for that. I mean, Disney's done some things to kind of try to bring people together, but not a whole lot. That whole Disney fan community thing is really driven by the fans. So when it comes to wanting to get to know people, you go to Lou Mongello's meet, or the Touring Plans meet, or you get counted, or, whatever it is. But, when you want to know about the Fantasyland expansion, the Disney Parks official site is really a great place to go. Although I will say, touringplans.com has a lot of very, very thorough information as well.
I just heard of Touring Plans for the first time this week.
Oh my gosh.
It's apparently I've been missing this huge popular...
Yeah. Touring Plans is
awesome. Check it out.
Yeah, you gotta do it. So, Disney fans, Touring Plans is chock full of information, strategies, all kinds of good stuff. Allears.net is another good one for information. There is www.info.com as well, which has got a lot of information. But really, like you were saying, if you want to know for sure, the Disney Parks blog has been really, really great about churning it out this last year. And today's their 1-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary, Disney Parks blog.
You've come a long way, baby.
Nice.
So So let's talk about what are the official Disney social media outlets. On Twitter, can you think off the top of the head which ones you kind of gravitate towards that you follow?
I'm not going to lie, I get confused because everybody has a picture of something Disney, like a picture of the castle or a picture of a mouse, and there are a lot of names, so I don't know what's official and what's not.
Not really sure.
I remember that Shane went crazy last week because Disney Parks had responded to me, so now I just love them because they responded to me.
What did they say to you?
They were showing rooms where you could order princess gifts in the room for your little girl. And my response was, what gifts do they have for the little boys? And they said, well, please, John, keep an eye on our blog. And that's it. But I existed. I existed in their world.
That meant that they noticed you.
Yeah. So that's who I'll follow now.
So is it just at Disney Parks?
Well, there's a couple of them. There's at Disneyland. There's at Disney D23. There's at Disney Parks. At DCL News, which is for the cruise line. Mm-hmm. There's at Disney Weddings.
How do you know these are official? Does it say verified?
If you go to the Disney website, it will tell you how you connect. It's got a list of all of their social media outlets.
Okay.
So, and I do actually follow quite a few of these. I definitely follow at Disney Parks. They're probably the best to follow. They have the most information. I like following at Disney Living. Because, my little thing.
Disney Living?
Yes.
I didn't even know that was a
thing.
Well, it's kind of cool because we go into the whole Disney lifestyle thing. Although I will say, at this point, at Disney Living, hear me now, you could be doing a lot more than what you're doing. A lot of times they do tweet out things and it just feels like more like one big commercial. Mm. But some of them are really cute. Like I was going through their tweets and they've got, they have... these little, like, Pookaloos giveaways. I love Pookaloos.
What's a Pookaloo?
I'm looking at that.
What? You don't know what the Pookaloos are?
No.
Is that like the round stuffed animal?
Yes, with the little eyes, and they're so cute. And
what?
It's like an egg shape, kind of.
Are you joking,
I'm
John,
going to search on my iPad
look
what a
it up right
Pookaloo
now.
is. Excuse me.
Oh my gosh, they're just way too cute.
Pookaloos.
In fact, their motto is, too cute for their own good. So, they'll tweet out commercials to these
just like
Pookaloos,
me, these things.
and they'll have all these, like, retweet this and win a Pookaloo or get a chance to win a Pookaloo. But then other times it's, like, really helpful. Like, they recently tweeted out this one thing about a brand new Disney bridal line that's coming out with Angelo Alfredo, whatever his name is.
For dresses?
Bridal dresses. Yeah,
Dreams
like
come
there's
true.
like a Snow White-ish, inspired
gosh.
one and a Sleeping Beauty inspired one. That's the one I want.
This is a Cheshire Cat Pookaloo.
That's the one I want. I don't have that one.
Can you imagine having a Disney wedding dress?
That would be very dreamy. And I have to say, the Tiana one, very beautiful.
Gorge.
Yes. But I'm kind of like, I don't have the figure for it, but the Jasmine one, wow.
I need to look these up.
I'm gonna have to give it to you. But so Disney Living it's interesting. They have quite a few giveaways. Sometimes it's commercially, but hopefully they'll get a little bit more with the program here.
Hold on, they can't see that. I'm trying to get it.
Nothing.
At Walt Disney World, and then
Then
there's also at Disney Video. But I'll tell you, they haven't put out a tweet in a really, really, really long time. So you might not want to follow at Disney Video, but it is official. Facebook. They have facebook.com/Disney.
I think that's the one. Or I'm not
Then
sure.
there's facebook.com/Walt Disney World. Facebook.com/Disneyland. Facebook.com/Disney Cruise Line. Facebook.com Disney Weddings. I think I want to follow the Disney Weddings one. I'm already married, but if anybody else wants to get married at Disney, I'll be your wedding planner because I'm all into it.
I just thought you were going to offer to get, like, a duplicate husband, so I'm really happy.
I'm not ready to cross that line yet. If I get desperate enough to have a Disney wedding, you never know. No, I'm just joking. So, okay, and then there's the Disney Parks blog. We've already kind of talked about that.
Love it.
They are really doing well. They've
Doing really fun.
Yeah, their little videos that they put out all the time. I love watching those things. So, information is really, really good, and I think that they've been doing a very good job about kind of do you know? Like keeping a hold on things so that they're the ones with the breaking news. I think it's getting really, really hard to beat.
For them to keep it under wraps until.
Well, but it's no. I mean, like Stitch Kingdom maybe get some stuff out there before Disney Blog does, because he seems to have the lowdown on all the rumors. But Disney Parks Blog, I've been noticing they tend to be the first ones to break their news, which is as it should be. It's not getting leaked as easily anyway. At least that's my impression. Chat room, feel free to disagree if you'd like. So, YouTube. Have you ever been to their YouTube channel?
No, Disney has their own YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh, you have to go!
I probably have watched videos like connected to them without realizing it's their channel.
Yeah, maybe like the ones that they tweet out on links to.
My favorite thing, I haven't watched. You know what? I think I've seen like commercials from the official Disney thing, but there's like a perfect video of wishes that I go on YouTube, and I'm like, that is one of my favorite social media things to do. Is when I can't. There was like a while I would watch it every night before bed.
I was going to say, is that your bedtime routine? Okay. It's 9 o'clock. She goes to YouTube for the wishes fireworks.
The chat room mentioned the Henson videos. I don't know if those are considered official Disney, but I love those.
They are so good.
Are they the best? Did you see the bunny rabbit Easter one?
Yes, I put that on my blog. I embedded it on my blog.
And what about when Beaker does me, me? I love those.
I love that one too.
Did you see, Scott, you watch those?
Yeah, they're awesome.
What about the chef and he's doing the pumpkins or something?
Yeah.
I didn't see the pumpkin one.
I think they were pumpkins, and they're like, no, wait, I got this. Don't worry, he's not going to kill us. That's not a good knife or something. It's good. They're good. The Muppets are.
I got to see that. No, I put a couple of those up on my blog because they really are.
So that's Disney. Okay, all right.
And actually, Cheryl Perlmutter was telling me that
the Perlmutters.
We love saying it like that.
At Henson Company on Twitter.
Okay.
I might want to start following them. I hadn't done that yet.
In the chat, Mouse Planner was talking about the time lapse videos. I've seen a Magic Kingdom one that has like this really like cool touching music, and then it just shows from like sunrise to sunset, and it has like all the people walking fast and like shows all the rides going around fast.
Oh, that's cool.
That is
really cool.
That's right. So YouTube is youtube.com/user/Disney Parks. And then Disney Living has a YouTube channel.
Never saw it.
You really gotta go. Okay. That's for like all the wedding videos and the Pookaloos things that I was talking about. They've got some like Demi Lovato interviews and all that. Yeah, see, you would like to go.
I love her.
What? John, for real?
Okay. There's other people in the chat room with me who don't know who Demi Lovato is. I know Demi Moore.
Demi Lovato is one of the pop princesses for Disney. It's like Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez.
Okay.
She is a wholesome pop singer who has good morals and values and is fierce vocally.
Yeah, she is fierce vocally.
She's the Camp Rock girl.
Okay.
Yeah. You totally heard her music.
They tell me she's the star of Sunny with a Chance. I only knew Sunny with a Chance of Meatballs, and that's not Disney, so now I know.
No. Although I did hear that she's a little bit diva-ish.
Demi Lovato?
Yeah.
Like how?
Well, she was here for the social media event to do their whole, volunteer promotion thing. And they were all supposed to plant trees together. And the kids and the parents that actually went to go do that, she was like, no, like she didn't want to get her fingernails in the dirt, so she just kind of was like, And, all of the rest of the, Joe Jonas was all into it. Allison Stoner was all into it. Demi Lovato was like,
Joe Jonas.
My nails.
I'd be like, can I get a hand shovel?
Yeah, she just really wasn't into it. So, there you have it.
Not going to say that I'd be the quickest to dig my hands in the dirt either. Just saying.
Hey, Jay, I'll jump back for a second.
Sure.
The one thing I was looking at the other day, the Disney Parks website, if you guys go down to the bottom of the page on the Disney Parks website, there's the most awesome silhouette that's done on the bottom of the parks. It's just so cool. So if you get a chance to log on and then scroll down to the bottom of the page, it's just really awesome.
Okay, silhouette, bottom of Disney Parks website.
Yep.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
The Disney website's awfully big. Do you have a more specific page?
Go to the Disney Parks website. If you go to Disney.com
Yes.
and then you go up to Parks, you click there. That's the Parks website.
Okay.
I just thought of something.
What?
My favorite Disney official social media thing is DisneyEnduranceSeries.com. It has all the Disney races on there. I'm not going to lie. There was a time period when I would, like, go on. I would, get on the computer, check my mail, check my Facebook, check the Disney Endurance Series. Every day it would be the same exact thing, but I, had to click on every race and be like, how much does this cost? Where is the race? I just love... That's a very informative site if you are ever interested in doing any of the races.
You're so cute.
That's my favorite one.
I'm just, imagining Nicole waking up in the morning.
Little bird.
Email, Facebook, Disney Endurance.
You know what's a part of, I guess,
check it
social
every day.
media that we didn't even talk about is video games. Because
Oh, yeah.
I'm finding out about all these great Disney video games like Kingdom Hearts and Epic Mickey through social media.
You're finding out about it through social media. But, are video games really social media? Because it's not a social thing. That's more of just like a
Only-
technology.
Only because it's advertising.
Well, there's that thing
Okay.
where you can get the microphone and play with other
I mean, I'm watching
people. You
videos.
probably can't do that for those games.
Oh, where you all can connect your games.
Right.
You can,
But Disney's
yell at your
releasing
competition.
cutscenes to video games that aren't released yet. So it's a way to advertise to me to say, hey, don't you want that Epic Mickey game? And yes, Jackie, I can't wait for it.
Yes, he does want
Got
it.
to play this.
He does want it. Well, forums. So you guys have said before that you don't really frequent forums. Is that right, Scott? You don't? frequent
No,
forums?
I don't go on forums very often now.
Okay. But Disney actually does have a forum. It's not a big one, but y'all are probably knowing where I'm going with this. And that's DisneyWorldMom.com. And that's the Moms panel. But that is the only official Disney forum that they have, at this point anyway. Disney, I think you need to work on that. Because it's really nice to get your vacation questions answered, and I'm so for it. Hope I get to be involved with it. But it would be really, really cool to be able... I mean, we have other places, but they're all Disney fan-driven. I think it'd be cool to have an official Disney forum where you can connect. Or maybe they're just kind of using Facebook in that regard.
What do you mean, just for information?
No, to connect with other people. Like a forum is like Twitter, but it's not as fast-paced. And you can search things
Categories
by
and everything.
topic and categories and like that.
I forgot. I love this about the Disney Facebook page. They will post a status that says, what is your favorite restaurant at Epcot? And then you see, 300 responses. And I love doing that and, going on there and answering their questions.
I don't like doing that as much. I just feel
Some
like
of
I get
the
lost
people in the chat room
the
are saying that
crowd.
sometimes the forums just turn sour.
Sometimes they do. That might be why Disney hasn't ventured there yet.
Could be.
Because sometimes they do get a little bit rough. I will say, I want to put a plug in for the WD boards, WDboards.com. Of all the boards that I've been on, and I've been on quite a few,
Gets around the board.
She's been around the boards.
I've been around the board.
Oof.
I got some stories to tell people. But of all the boards that I've been on, WD Boards seems to have the best handle on keeping the atmosphere friendly and welcoming. You really don't get people flame throwing on that forum very much.
I've heard some scary things about forums. I'm on the Be Our Guest podcast. I think I signed up for it, and I told you I tried to figure out how to do it. I was clicking stuff, and it was telling me no, and I'm not that much of an idiot that I couldn't figure it out, but I was kind of scared because I've heard people say that you have to be careful, and if you type something that's out of topic, they'll yell at you.
Oh, well, they need to get over themselves. Let me go talk to them.
Different forums, and not the Be Our Guest one, but I don't know, I guess some other ones, and then if you, I don't know, people will be, really mean about it. I was scared.
Some
I was
people
like,
can
I'll
be
just
really
stick to
brutal.
Twitter.
That's all part of the dog-eat-dog Disney world. Some people just feel and it really doesn't have to do with Disney, it just has to do with individual people. Some people just feel they have to run the show, and they want to put everyone else in the place that they think they need to be, and unfortunately some of those people are Disney fans, and they kind of come out in the forums. But you shouldn't let that sour your experience. You just be brave.
I'll have to go try it.
I think Be Our Guest,
Give it a shot.
the Be Our Guest forums would be
Yeah.
probably a very good starting point.
People in the chat are saying Be Our Guest podcast forum is nice. I didn't mean that about them. I've heard that about other ones that I don't even know the name of. I love Be Our Guest.
All right, before time gets ahead of us, let's talk about this announcement. I'm scared this may go on further than we want.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, let's go ahead and, go there. We kind of skipped over Disney and Ustream, but Disney did cross over into Ustream within these past couple of weeks with their live broadcasting that they've done. So let's talk about how Disney has really embraced social media in the last year, because they've made some big steps. Don't you think?
You know about them even more than me. Tell me what they are. I promised I wouldn't listen until you said we're here on the air.
Yeah, we did promise we weren't going to have our discussion until it was live. But, okay, so within the last 2 years, you kind of started to see Disney personnel, not necessarily official Disney accounts, but Disney personnel on Twitter. And then slowly we started getting the Disney official accounts were popping up. And I even did some investigating. You know how you can do a search, I want to find people or accounts that have to do with Disney, and it'll pull up things for you. I don't know what was going on, but there were a whole mess of Disney names that were not, the accounts that were not being used, and they all had the, same picture, and nothing was ever typed out on it.
Maybe they're just being put on the side?
I think that Disney was, grabbing them. So, Disney mom, Disney daughter, Disney dad, all these things were taken, but nobody was using these accounts. So then after that, Disney Parks blog came out about a year ago, and that was a pretty big step for Disney, I thought. There were all these fan-driven blogs, but then Disney, kind of said, we're just going to come out and, do it our way, rather than, all these other people saying what they want to say. You just come straight to the horse's mouth. Wait a minute, that didn't come out right. You don't come straight to the horse's mouth. You hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
If you're going to the horse's mouth, bring a carrot.
Something like that. Wow, are we keeping up with the JLisms tonight?
You've made a few of them already.
Taking notes, chat room.
Okay, so, and then last February, something I was so excited about, Disney held its first social media conference. They called it the Social Media Moms Celebration, but it wasn't just moms. There were actually a few brave males that ventured into the conference.
This mom stuff offends me a little bit.
Thank you.
I mean, go mamas, go. But what about us cool little college kids that are just all about Disney all over the net?
Well, it may
or
be
guys,
changing.
dads.
Or dads.
It may be changing, but you have to admit, in general, aside from Disney, the whole blogging phenomenon has really been driven by moms. Oh my gosh, did I just...
No, I just want to be like, I have Stuart channeling me to say no.
Stuart's wonderful, and he has been awesome, but if you're really being honest, the majority of it has been driven by mostly moms.
Moms make the world go round. I know this. I don't want to.
We love the mamas, but
you know it.
Don't exclude everybody else.
No, and they didn't. I just did explain that there were other people there. But so this was really, really big. This was kind of like, in my mind, Disney taking a step and saying, yes, we acknowledge that this is an important thing, and we need to get with the program. And that's the truth. They really did. So it was awesome. It was so cool. They had so many great speakers, and I had this very exciting thing that happened for me personally. Can I share? Can I share? Okay, so this is what happened. The day before the conference, I was contacted on Twitter by somebody in the social media department, and I was asked if I wanted to meet Tom Staggs. So do you know who Tom Staggs is?
No.
Okay, he is the new chairman for all of the Disney parks and resorts.
Wow.
So when we saw the announcement this last week, he was the guy that was giving all the information. So, and I was told he has specifically requested that he wants to meet mommy bloggers because he recognizes that this is an important thing coming up in the future of Disney, and he needs to be, the parks need to be on board and working with the mommy bloggers, so he wanted to meet, just a few. So I got invited, I got to meet him, and when I was talking to him, he asked me, so what do you blog about? I explained my blog, and I said it's, we blog about, our neurotic tendency to incorporate the Disney brand into, all aspects of life. And he looked at me and he goes, We don't call that neurotic. We call that healthy.
That's cool.
But we laughed so hard. It was so
Love it.
great. So, yeah. Okay, and then the biggest, well, not the biggest thing, but the latest thing that just happened this week. Disney really took a step out with their big Let the Memories Begin campaign. Okay.
Which somehow got a complete negative connotation.
Yeah, we're going to have to try to squish our conversation into this and make
That it was a cheap way out. The truth is, the technology that projects on that castle is not cheap.
No.
It's some high tech.
Well, let's talk about what the campaign is first,
I don't
okay?
even know.
I brought a quote from the Disney Parks blog, so it's official, like what they had announced the day before. It was called Live Coverage of Disney Parks Special Announcement. And the quotes are, we're unveiling some exciting plans for Disney Parks, and you bet we'll be announcing some good stuff that you'll want to know about. You'll be able to watch and interact in real time as we raise the curtain on what's coming. We don't want to give away any of the surprises, but expect to see a few faces you'll instantly recognize along with Disney characters and Tom Staggs. Okay, so then it came out, and what happened, John?
Oh, Disney's using our faces to advertise, and it just became a big negative fest. And I think there's two reasons for it.
Okay.
But wait, what did they even say?
People were upset. Okay, it was this big thing. They went on Ustream, live coverage, and they unveiled their campaign for the next year.
And what is it?
Let the Memories Begin.
Where they're basically going to use your photos.
It's completely social media driven. Social media driven.
Where you can submit, right? You submit the photos.
Oh my
to them?
gosh, I'm addicted to submitting stuff.
They'll also use photos. Like, let's say our big group, our Epic October group, takes a picture on Main Street with the PhotoPass people. Mm-hmm. Chances are that will probably be displayed sometime on the castle.
On the castle.
Right. I doubt people are going to sit. I mean, people probably will sit for 3 hours looking at the castle,
Neurotic
waiting.
Disney people.
Wait,
Neurotic
so
Disney
at night there's just going to be pictures going on it the whole time?
Yeah, they kind of fade across, and then using the technology of Tinkerbell
We're not
flying.
exactly
I'd like my
sure.
castle to be a solid color.
Well, some people have voiced that as well. So, but it kind of flopped when it came out. Let's kind of discuss this. Why did this flop?
Okay, I think they built up too much what the announcement was going to be. People expect a lot from Disney. There are huge cranes in our back of our Fantasyland, so we are all hearing that there's changes going on with Fantasyland, and it's not the original plan. So we're all expecting to hear, a huge attraction is going into Frontierland, and I'm reading the chat room and seeing if they're with me. And the fact that it became pictures across the castle just became a big groaner.
Okay. Scott, I know you have words to say on this. What happened here? Why did this flop? They come out, they're excited, they're Ustreaming, they've got Michael J. Fox and a really nice new song, and everyone's watching it, and then there's this big, boo hiss. I mean, some people were positive, but I think we can all agree probably the majority were negative about it. Why do you think this happened?
Well, first off, let me say that I think the plan itself is brilliant. I think embracing social media because it's so huge was a great way to go. It really shows Disney is embracing what we're all doing. It was interesting. If you go on the website is amazingly designed. I love it. Mm-hmm. Disney went outside the box here too. It's coming from a designer. They went outside the box here a little bit and they're using pastel colors on it. And it's really, really awesome. It has a good feel to it. They've really branded the campaign, and I think they've done a great job with it. Where this was flawed was really on the execution. The negative fallout I saw happen immediately. It was during this live event. We saw it happening. I was watching it. And where I think that it dropped, Disney came out and they basically said, we're going to be announcing something. And that's how they left it, as far as I know. But knowing social media like we all do, it's very viral. And Disney should have guided that viral information a little bit. When they saw it starting to go to this whole thing of what John said, of, wow, maybe they're going to add another ride into Fantasyland. Maybe there's going to be a bell, whatever. They should have just come out and said a little something about, hey, just a little secret as to what it is. It's our 2011 campaign. So that people were kind of guided in the right direction. And I think that might have been all it would have taken. And I think it's disappointing they got some negative press on something that's really amazing. I think it's well done. I think to come out the way they did was probably not the best thing for them and not the smartest thing. But, I wanted to know, too, I know, JL, you've uploaded a ton of pictures so far. I'm going to upload some pictures, especially for my August trip. John, Nicole, are you guys going to upload any pictures?
Here's my opinion on that whole picture thing. For somebody like me, that would probably be awesome because I'm going to, if they're going to put a picture that I give them on the castle, chances are I'm going to be there and see it if I'm not so busy with school like I've been, and I get to go.
No!
That's
the chances of you being there, though, of seeing it, it's going to be up there for like a minute. What's the chances of you seeing it?
That's what I'm saying. Oh. Somebody like me may see it. Somebody that comes once a year or once every 5 years or once... What is even the purpose? I mean,
let's talk about this, though. We don't know how they are going to execute this thing. They may be able to find a way. They haven't explained all that. They may be able to find a way so that when certain people are in the parks, or maybe they're going to notify us where they've got a plan at such and such a time it's going to come out. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't know if they're not. But we shouldn't make the assumption.
Right.
That we're not going to see it.
I'm not going to judge it until I see. It could be the
They
most
can
awesome
hand out
thing,
beepers.
But
when you vibrate, you got 6 minutes to get to the castle. 6 minutes.
Well, I saw complete beauty in the whole thing that went down, even in the flop of it, because here we are seeing probably on the greatest level, at least in my opinion, interaction between Disney official and the fan base. I mean, Disney in this campaign has stepped out in the most dramatic way that I have seen so far to embrace its fans, primarily through social media, and that is so very exciting to me. This entire campaign is social media driven.
But do you see how it can go positive and negative? So they got to be careful.
Well, and this is what we need to keep in mind. Disney is new in social media just like we are. Social media itself is
very new.
We're all new in it. So they're learning from this experience. I'm sure they've learned from what happened yesterday. Yep. I think we can agree that, at least in my mind, this campaign is brilliant. I think that it is brilliant.
I like the campaign.
It really is a solid concept. It shines the spotlight on the guest, on the fan. It reaches them in a really intimate way. It's reaching into their family photo albums and displaying it for all the park. And, I understand the whole marketing ad
They're
campaign
also in our
aspect.
brain. They know that we want a lasting memory. They know
Yes.
it.
Well, and the truth is that not the heart of Disney?
Absolutely.
This campaign totally reaches... It touches on the core of why Disney was created. But it's really getting into the fans in a very personal, intimate way, and they're doing it through social media. I am so incredibly excited about it. Now, with this flop of the delivery,
expectation-based.
I think it was just a misalignment of expectations. And I confess, I watched it, and I got to the end, and I was like, wow... Is that it? Like, where's the announcement about the new DVC resort? I
know, we expected something bigger.
But then I stepped back from it and I was like, okay, did I have these expectations because of something that Disney put out there? Or did I have these expectations because social media in itself drove the expectations? I mean, I gotta tell you, I was in the forums and I'm reading rumors about a new ride, a new country in Epcot, a new DVC resort. There's gonna be something built on the River Country property. So, but Disney never said any of that. That was what was going on in the forums.
Let me jump in here. Just a little bit. I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying, but we all know that social media is viral. Mm-hmm. So you put something out there, it goes across the globe within an hour. Mm-hmm. So Disney knows that. So this is my thing. This is my only point that I want to make about it. They could have guided that. They could have come out with another little statement, something. They didn't. It's okay. They're learning as we are about social media, but we can't blame it on the fans. The fans do what they're going to do. That's social media.
Right. No, I'm not blaming anybody. Actually.
Yeah, they treated it incorrectly for the media that they were bringing it out to.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the beast. That's what my point is.
Blame Canada. That's really...
It's Canada's fault. No, Canada, we love you. No, it's just the nature of the beast, and that's what my point is that we're all kind of learning this. I think probably from this experience, this whole thing would have gone better, like you said, Scott, if Disney had come out and first on their blog and said, we've got a big announcement to make. We're unveiling next year's campaign. And just, they don't have to tell us what next year's campaign is. They don't have to tell us the particulars of it. If they just said, we're just unveiling next year's campaign, you know what? I bet everyone would have still tuned into that Ustream channel, sat there and watched it, and at the end of that gone, oh my gosh, the genius of it.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? I got to go back to this. Just the website, if you guys haven't been on it, and I know, JL, you have, but if Nicole and John, if you haven't been on it, you can just sit there. There's nice music that plays, and you can just sit there and watch it. I mean, it's well done. Really well done.
I only saw Ellie's picture because I saw the link, but I got to go check it out.
I'm addicted to this, and this is where I'm saying that it is...
Are we within 55
minutes? It is brilliance, because I am sitting here uploading pictures because I want to share it with the world. And what happens when I go up to that site and I upload it, then it tells you, do you want to share it? And it gives you the option of through email, through Twitter, through Facebook.
I like that. What
happens? We take it to our social media outlets. Those links go out. All the people that we know and love our family and are whether they like Disney or not, are interested in us. Go to the Disney site, read our cute little write-up that we've written to go along with our picture or our video. We're all laughing and crying at our memories that we're sharing. And there's a conversation that's going on that completely revolves around Disney. And that is why it's brilliant, because they've got us all talking and about them involved in our lives. And it is all...
And everybody wants to emulate that memory that they see the people having in the photo.
Yes, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And I understand the marketing, and I understand, the whole business side of why they're doing what they're doing, but I tell you what, I am still a sucker for it. That is how brilliant it is I get it, and I understand the whole business aspect of it, and I'm still a sucker for it sentimentally. It's genius.
Okay.
So...
Oh, and to answer your question, Scott, about me and Nicole giving in pictures, we don't have to. We're in a lot of her pictures and your pictures. So people are throwing their pictures in. We're in them.
People make fun of me because I'm in everyone's vacation pictures.
I tweeted you all up on there. Y'all are uploaded onto the site. Yeah. We're going to be wrapping it up. But I think the main thing that I wanted to, bring home with this is I'm so excited because especially with this campaign that they just came out with, aside from the flop, it sends the message. Disney is sending the message that we acknowledge, recognize, and see it. The role that social media is playing and how important it is in everyone's lives, in current society today. And we care enough that we want to be, there is a business side to it that has to do with, other things. But we care enough that we want to remain relevant in your lives, and social media is the way that they're picking to drive it, and I'm just completely ecstatic about it.
Didn't Disney do a social media game on Facebook where you give gifts? I don't play it, but they did start something, and they just bought a company that makes Facebook games, so they're getting into it even more. Scott, do you remember that?
I don't know.
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
There's a lot of applications for Facebook. I don't know.
They bought one of the biggest companies. Disney official bought just recently one of the biggest companies. Anybody in the chat room know that makes games? TC Hinkle just says, "You're right." I wish I remembered the name of the company, but it's a big company, and they're going to start to get into a lot more of that. So you're going to see a Farmville, Disneyville, probably not too far off, to continue the social media.
Disney is going to do well with these steps that they're taking because this is the future. Social media is the future of our society.
Yes.
So for Disney to take these big steps like this in that direction is huge.
I'm sorry, I took your Playdom is the name of the thing. Okay.
Yeah, well with that, we need to go ahead and move on to our shout-outs for the week.
Well, wait a second. Do we have time to fit in our collectible?
The collectible. Do we have time for
Let's ask our producer, time-wise. Do we have time?
Go for it.
Okay, we got time for it.
The collectible.
Do you have it, Keith, that you can put up?
Give me a second to bring it up.
He's okay, great.
This week, what I brought up is, and I'm sure a lot of you people follow this gentleman. He's a great guy. It's Marcio Disney, and I hope I'm saying his name right.
He's from
Am I
Brazil.
saying his name right?
Yeah, he's Brazilian.
Oh, look at that. Okay,
Yes.
for those listening on the podcast, we're looking at it looks like a comic book of some sort.
It is a comic book. It's a Donald comic book. I don't know what language it's in. I believe
Spanish.
it was 1946, though, is the date on it, I think. But, you know, like Nicole said earlier, here's the cool thing about social media. I've now made a friend with someone in Brazil. Marcio has sent me so many collectibles that are up on my site. It's just awesome. So if you are not following him, you really should. He's a great guy.
Oh, Maribel's saying it's in Portuguese, not Spanish.
Portuguese, thank
Sorry.
you. It's in Portuguese. Okay, great.
But yes, continue with your social media thought.
No, I was just saying that, you know, the fact that, just reiterating what Nicole said earlier, that there are no boundaries anymore. You can make friends across the globe, and Marcio has been so nice to me. And he sends me pictures, and he'll send me like 5 different views of something. He'll say, pick your favorite one, and he's just awesome.
He is.
Cool.
And as far as being counted, we're getting ready to do our shout-outs of the week. But
Let's do it.
we are international. And talking about social media, that's another thing that's been social media driven. We've got Neurotic Disney people counted in Russia, Kazakhstan, England, Canada, Mexico. I'm forgetting them all. Jackie would have to look them up and tell me from the chat room, but there's lots of them. And then I go on the website and I read the Google Analytics. I mean, I've got people from South Africa and Australia and New Zealand and Iraq and Iran and all over the world coming to look at the site. It's really, really awesome. So with that, cue the music. Shouting out to the NDPs of the week, we have NDA number 13, Donna K. in Illinois.
Hey,
Hi, Donna. NDA number 14, Pam W. in Missouri. Hi, Pam. NDD number 11, Greg B. in Rhode Island. Hey, Greg. NDD number 12, Arnold V. in Florida.
Hi, Arnold.
NDGM number 13, Kathy M. in Pennsylvania.
Hey,
Hi,
Kathy.
NDGM number 14, Donna L. in Indiana.
Hey, Donna.
NDI number 13, Louise C. in Neverland.
Hey, Louise. In Neverland.
NDI number 14, Chris F. in Texas.
Hi,
Hey,
Chris.
NDK number 13, Beth A. in Missouri.
Hi, Beth.
NDK number 14, Nicole E. in Michigan.
Hi, Nicole.
NDM number 13, Carol L. in Oregon.
Hey,
Hi,
Carol.
NDM number 14, Lori J. in Texas. Hey, Lori. NDM number 15, Mary Ellen L. in New York.
Hi, Mary Ellen.
NDH number 9, Zach J. in Alabama.
Hey, Zach.
NDH number 10, Rob W. in Arkansas.
Hey, Rob.
NDT number 13, Julie S. in Florida.
Hi, Julie.
NDT number 14, Brianna E. in Florida.
Hi, Brianna.
NDU number 8, Chris L. in Florida.
Hi, Chris.
NDU number 7, Michael J. in Virginia.
Hi, Michael.
NDW number 13, Katie M. in Oklahoma.
Hi, Katie.
We're so glad that you guys stood up to be counted. If you too want to have an official position on the NDP roster, please write to us at becounted@thedisneydrivenlife.com. We need your first name, your last initial, your home state, the title that you're applying for, and your Twitter handle if you have one. Please be sure to let us know if you want to be a mom, dad, wife, husband, grandmom, granddad, auntie, uncle, individual, teen, or a kid.
Or if you're schizophrenic and need more than one number.
Right.
Or if you're a critter.
Or if you're a critter. Right. So, with that, we're going to sign out. Live the life.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Stay with us for the after party.
I love that peach out.
Technically, it's not Disney. Disney seems to be
Right.
getting into social media with their less announcements.
Well, there are social media two camps kind of. There's official Disney social media, and then there's fan-driven social media.
And I bet the fan-driven is obviously a big driver for profits and everything because we're crazy.
We are.
We love it.
We're
and
neurotic.
It's free advertisement for them.
It really is.
We really push it. But so, in what ways has Disney impacted how you do social media? You know, things like Twitter, Facebook, Skype, chat, podcasts, forums, you know, all of that stuff that you do online. In what way has Disney impacted that?
It's all Disney for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I don't follow anybody that doesn't have anything about Disney in their profile.
So it is all for you.
Except for like a few celebrities like Joan Rivers or something, it's all Disney.
Do you follow Joan Rivers?
I do. She has some great tweets. She does.
Okay. The only celebrity that I follow that isn't Disney related is Tom Cruise, and that's because he followed me back. So, you know, hey. But what about you, Scott? How has Disney impacted it in your life?
Well, I can honestly say, I mean, first and foremost, it's you guys right off the bat. Not just the three of you, but all the people in the chat room tonight. I know most of you, or at least have chatted with you, or tweeted with you, or Facebooked with you. But I've made some dear, dear friends, and including my three co-hosts, who I love dearly. And that wouldn't have happened without social media. I met all of you through social media, and I think the big thing for me was, like John said, there was a people out there with a love for Disney like I had, and that just made the connection. And it was easy through social media. And one of the things I love is when I'm sitting at work and I'm having a hard day, I can just pop onto Twitter real quick. There's always someone tweeting from the parks, whether it be Disneyland or Disney World.
Living the life around the world! It's time for Inner Mouse, your Disney lifestyle destination, with Scott, JL, John, and Nicole. Oh boy! Ha!
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Inner Mouse, the vidcast for people who are striving to lead a Disney-driven lifestyle. I'm JL from the DisneyDrivenLife.com. With me this evening are John, columnist for the Disney Food blog, Scott from CollectTheMouse.com, and Nicole, neurotic Disney individual extraordinaire. We have a very exciting topic to bring to you this evening, one that I'm particularly thrilled about.
Me too.
Last week you all told us that you wanted us to talk about social media and how we bring the Disney brand into that aspect of our lives. So, what do you say we just go ahead and jump right in?
Let's jump.
This is a social media week.
It is. It's been an incredible week to talk about this subject. But first, let's kind of define what social media is.
Thank God.
Because John might need some clarity.
John wasn't even in social media until 4 months ago.
So just to kind of brush up and refresh for John's sake, I went to Wikipedia. And it says social media includes various online technologies that enable people to communicate easily via the internet to share info and resources. These types of technologies would include text, audio, video, images, podcasts, and multimedia communications. So with that, I thought we would go ahead and start off with, in what ways has Disney impacted social media in the life of neurotic Disney people? What's your take on it?
Well, there's this new vidcast called Inner Mouse, and I think that's a great social media tool.
Love it.
It's great. Have you watched it, anyone? Has anyone watched this Inner Mouse thing?
If not, you should.
But right, this is social media, is it not?
It absolutely is.
Okay, but it's not...
And I get to share that, and I think it's so cool when somebody sends a picture, and I'm like, oh man, I've been standing right there. Oh, they're having a Dole Whip, all this stuff. So it's really awesome. Go ahead, John.
So you kind of use it as a crutch to help you get your fix. You're longing to be there in the parks, and this kind of helps you get through, cope with that withdrawal.
Daily. Some people use alcohol, some people use drugs. I use social media and Disney.
In addition to your alcohol.
No, it's water.
It's water tonight.
Yeah.
It's water. I swear.
And the judges on American Idol drink water also.
Well, of course they do.
That Coca-Cola.
Well, what about you, Nicole? How has Disney impacted the way that you use social media?
Well, when I started Twitter, I saw it on Extra, the show with Mario Lopez, and he was always saying, oh, I had an interview with this person, follow them on Twitter. And I was like, what? Celebrity gossip for free before it hits Us Weekly? Yeah! So I was like on there with following Paris Hilton and whoever, all my favorite little celebrities. And then I just would go on it whenever, and then I auditioned for American Idol, and I found Chris Topher on the American Idol thing, and he had a Twitter too. So that was like my first friend that I started talking to on Twitter, and that was my first tweet up. And then from just one Disney Twitter friend, I found a jillion. All the friends that I have now have just like trickled off of that, and then now Twitter's not really about following.
And Nicole was a hard Twitter friend to make. Oh, Nicole didn't just follow you and be friendly.
Well, I would be careful because you don't know who
outed
people are. You have to be careful still, but I feel like a lot of people know each other, so now I'm a little different.
She's opening up a little
bit.
She's not such a Twitter snob anymore.
You have to be careful, because once you hit that follow-up button, they get the keys to your home.
Hey, Nicole, I just, I'm wondering, can you start following me now? I mean, I've been following you for months.
You should follow Scott now. It's about time.
Yeah, you're getting to that stage.
Would you mind?
I do follow him, right? Scott, I follow you.
He's totally joking.
I hope he may not be. No, he may not be, because she does that.
Actually, right now I'm not following anyone because Twitter is being silly goosey, and I have 0 followers, and I'm following 0 people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that new update they did. I have 0 followers as well.
By the way, really Anthony, cool. P.S. I tried to DM you today. It wouldn't let me do it because it said you weren't following me, so I got to go back and fix that.
Oh, can we boot him from the room?
I think it was an accident. I'm going to give him grace. But, okay, so for me, Disney was the entire reason that I embraced social media in the first place. I mean, I originally lived in this small town, little bumpkin of a place in Virginia. Bumpkin. Yeah, people didn't really do social media there. I mean, they just go out to their potluck barbecue things on the weekend, and that's it. So, I was very, very desperate to get a Disney fix because I didn't really have any Disney friends there either, and the only way that I was going to have access to it was to get on the computer and do it. So, it started with, at first I just, I had my email. That was all I knew how to do on the computer. This was 2 years ago. I just knew how to get my email, answer it, and send it.
Same.
Yeah.
That's it.
But from there, I went to forums. And in the forums, I started making connections and talking to people there. And from there, I started listening to podcasts. And that was awesome because, the forums were great for forming the relationships, which I desperately, desperately needed because I needed somebody to understand me and my Disney craziness. But then the podcast, gave the information. And that was rich. And then I did break out onto Facebook, and that didn't have too much to do with Disney at first. And I was really kind of private about my Facebook page, but then that slowly evolved as the people in the forums wanted to try to connect on Facebook, so I started letting more people in, and now I have
You definitely use Twitter more than Facebook.
No, I actually use both kind of pretty evenly. Maybe Twitter slightly more.
Twitter just seems much more interactive, right? Like, you definitely
it's
correspond, instant corresponding.
It's more instant. But I'm on Facebook daily. Yes?
Do you find that, I obviously have some overlap on my Facebook and my Twitter, but there are some people that are strictly Facebook and some people that are strictly Twitter for me on my account. Do you have the same thing?
Yes, there are definitely some people that are strictly Facebook and they completely get freaked out by Twitter. I've tried to coach some Disney people into the Twitter area because, I'm trying to tell you there are a lot of more people, Disney people on Twitter, a lot more interaction. But they get on Twitter and they never push it. When you first get on Twitter, you have to push it till you get to a point. You're going to have your aha moment, but it doesn't happen right away.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
It happens months later when you're like, oh my gosh, I get it.
I get it. You're right. I didn't know what was going on.
No, I mean, at first, when I first got on Twitter, I was like, why does anybody want to know, like, when I'm picking my nose? It seemed kind of ridiculous. It was like Facebook status on steroids, and it seemed kind of silly. But, I kept at it, kept with it. And then, a couple months into it, I started making Disney connections, and I had somebody to talk to about Disney, And then what happened was one day, I think I was like a couple months into it, somebody retweeted something I said. And I was like, I got retweeted? I understand. I understand what this is about.
I'll have some of what she's having. Nolan in the chat room just said something that said Facebook is all games now. And I have to say, if it wasn't for Farmville, I wouldn't be on Facebook.
Really? See, I don't play any of those games. I got hooked on Fashion Wars, and it sucked me in so bad I thought I'll never do this again. So, as soon as I wean myself off of Fashion Wars, I avoid Farmville like the plague. But no, I actually use it to update my status, and there are